Today, we're going to look at how Chromperfect can control many modern instruments. We will look at a standard chromatography method, an instrument control setpoint file. We will also look at the Chromperfect sequence editor, using an instrument autosampler, or a series of manual injections. Using a sequence allows multiple analysis to be run automatically, with different method and setpoint files. This process allows you to fully automate data acquisition without human intervention. Let's get started. In a moment we are going to be looking at the Chromperfect file editor. You can access this from the Files menu button on the Start bar. Whether you are creating a new set of files, or opening existent files, the following dialog box will appear. Today we are going to be focusing on method files, instrument setpoint files and sequence files. In order to acquire data using Chromperfect, you must have a method file. This is regardless of whether you are just collecting data passively, or via a digital interface with instrument, autosampler control. The method file is a fundamental requirement for acquisition. It allows the user to customize and automate the process. However, to get started there are only three components which we must configure accurately. It is these three elements which will ensure the data is collected correctly, and so we will not need to rerun our sample. The runtime, the sampling rate. The last thing we need to configure correctly is which channels of data Chromperfect will collect the data from. For many customers with single-channel instruments, they never need to consider anything other than channel A. For multiple detector instruments we may be collecting from channel A, channel B or both. Chromperfect offers full instrument and autosampler control for many modern and legacy instruments. In order to change instrument parameters between runs, we need an instrument setpoint file. The setpoint files are instrument-specific. As you can see on the screen, each instrument has its own type of file which is identified by a unique extension. Instrument setpoint files cannot be run independently and need to be referenced within the Chromperfect method file. When a method file is selected, Chromperfect will automatically read the information in the setpoint file, and send the control parameters to the GC. This automated process means that different methods, each with unique or similar setpoint files, can be prepared in a sequence. At the end of each analysis, Chromperfect will read the next method from the sequence, and automatically set up the instrument according to the associated setpoint file. Let's now have a look at how this works within the software. From the Chromperfect Start bar, select the Files button to open the file editor. From the File menu, let's open an existing Chromperfect method. As we discussed in the previous slide, the Chromperfect method editor offers the user tools to fully automate the Chromperfect data acquisition process. Not only can you set the data acquisition parameters, but also set up automatic events for integration, adjust how Chromperfect processes the chromatogram and the type of files that are produced. You can also select which reports are produced, how the plots are displayed and decorated, as well as many other advanced features. The multiple tab format, with many options available, can seem a little daunting to new users, but as we discussed in the last slide, all we need to do is click on the Acquisition tab, and set the three elements correctly. The runtime will dictate how long Chromperfect will collect data. This should be at least as long as the time required for the last peak to elute from the column. Next we should set our data sampling rate. This is the number of data samples Chromperfect will collect every second. There are tools within the Chromperfect analysis program to help you. However, as a rule of thumb you will want around 20 data points across the narrowest peak. Generally, 5 points per second for HPLC and 10 points per second for GC analysis should normally be about right. Once we have set up the acquisition parameters, we may want to further automate our analysis by telling the Chromperfect method to download an instrument setpoint file as soon as the method file is loaded. You can see in the bottom section, we have the option to select instrument setpoint files. The type we use will be dependent on what instruments are connected to Chromperfect. Let's now look at a setpoint file which was created by uploading data from a 6890. We open a setpoint file in the same way as a method file, or if the method already has a setpoint file, just click on the Open button beside the file name. In a similar format to the method file, a Chromperfect dialog box is displayed with a number of tabs at the top of the page. Each form has a selection of text boxes, text fields, or buttons. These buttons open separate dialogs. As each instrument type will have a slightly different interface, let's not look at this in too much depth, but if we click on the Oven Program button we can adjust the oven temperatures at different ramps throughout the run. When we have made our changes, click File, and then Save. Now we are ready to start the run our sample. Let's click on Run on the Chromperfect start bar to open the acquisition client. On our demonstration system here we have a number of virtual instruments configured. Before we can begin we must first claim the instrument. Let's select a 6890 from the list. Once our instrument is claimed, we must now switch to the Status tab on the far right-hand side of the screen. You will notice that our 6890 is now available for control. This is because it is now successfully claimed. Clicking on the control icon will bring up the instrument control panel. When we click the Download button, the download dialog appears. Chromperfect has a very nice feature, where it remembers the last file that you edited. So while we could click on the Browse button and select our gas method from the directory, we can also use the pull-down file list and select the last file edited. This will save us a couple of seconds. You will notice, on this form you can customize many aspects of how Chromperfect will acquire the data, and save the resulting data file. When you click OK, Chromperfect will investigate the method file, and as there is an associated setpoint file, the system will begin to communicate with the GC and download the instrument control parameters automatically. This process happens every time the download procedure is initiated. You will notice now the instrument status is now ready, and we can now start the analysis. At the end of each analysis Chromperfect will save the data file, and then be ready for the next injection, either from an auto-sampler or by a manual process and start signal from the GC. Until we manually download a new method all the parameters, including instrument control settings, will remain the same. In some cases, the chromatography method, instrument control parameters or both, may need to be updated at the end of every analysis. This is where a Chromperfect sequence file is useful. Let's go back to the file editor and develop a sequence. Chromperfect has a very useful dialog template option. Let's presume we have 10 injections in our sequence file. By using the spreadsheet we can select different methods for each analysis. As each method could have a different instrument control set, we can fully automate the analysis process using different methods and different associated setpoint files. When we have completed our sequence, we save the file and go back to data acquisition. In this case, when we download the instrument we are going to select the sequence file checkbox. Once we have loaded our sequence, Chromperfect will investigate the first analysis, read the method, and then download the instrument control settings from the setpoint file. When we start the sequence either manually or from an auto-sampler injection, Chromperfect will collect the data. At the end of the first run, the data file will be saved and processed. At this point Chromperfect will advance to the next analysis as detailed in the sequence. If this analysis requires a new set of data acquisition, or instrument control parameters, the new settings will automatically be downloaded in a matter of seconds. The sequence will continue until it reaches the last entry. In our example this is the 10th injection. Using Chromperfect method files, instrument control setpoint files, and sequence files, users can fully automate complex analysis. If you require further information, please visit Chromperfect.com or call our sales team, who will be happy to answer any questions you might have. Thank you for watching.